In this DIY December episode, we'll be showing you how to make this fun cup chain bracelet with a button closure. So we're going to start out with some 1.5 millimeter cord. You can work with leather or genya cord. I'm choosing genya cord. I have measured my wrist and multiplied that by 2. Then I've added 6 inches to accommodate for the knots. So I've strung a button to the very center of the cord and then tied an overhand knot right behind the button. The other materials that I have are rhinestone chain, or rhinestone cup chain, and this is a length that's about equal to my wrist measurement. I also have a thick thread. You could use embroidery floss, or you could use thick Eslon cord, hemp, anything that is kind of thicker than regular sewing thread, and a fun color that you'd like. So I'm going to start out by tying my embroidery floss or Eslon thread or hemp, whatever you're using, right onto your cord. So I'm going to start with a square knot. So I'm just wrapping it around the cord, and then I have the beginning of a square knot here, and that's around both cords. So I'm going to tie that tight, and I am going to tie another knot right there just to make sure it is going to stay put. So I have it tied right like that. So you can trim the tail end to get it out of the way. Don't trim it all the way down yet until we put some glue on that bad boy, but I'm just trimming it so it's out of the way and you can see it a little better. So if you've ever made any of the leather and bead wrap bracelets similar to the Chandlu style of bracelets, you'll know and be familiar with this figure 8 wrap that we're going to start out with. So what we're going to do is basically work the thread in a figure 8 around the cord. So it'll go in front, behind, and like that. So I'm going to do this here to show you. It's going to come around the front and through, and behind the other cord, and then back around the side and in the front, in between, back around the side and back to the front, in between, back around the side and in the front. And of course you're going to keep this a lot tighter than what I'm doing, but I'm just doing this to show you. So this is the general idea, and then of course we are going to tighten that up to the knot. So I'll do that a few times and show you what it looks like. And it's easiest to keep your thread long and keep your pliers untangled from it. That's what I'm just doing now. So this is the idea of what it looks like to start out with. I'm going to do it a few more times and show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's going to start to look like a fishtail braid, kind of like that. Now depending on the thickness of the thread that you're using, you might need to do this a different number of times than I did, but basically the idea is we're just kind of separating the leather or the cord so that there's not a big unsightly gap there. So we're just filling that area in with the thread. So now it's time for the cup chain. What I'm going to do is just place the cup chain right in between those two cords. And I'm going to take the thread, and now I'm changing my figure 8 from being 2 circles to 3 circles. So the cord is going to go around, or I'm sorry, the thread is going to go around the cord, then the cup chain, back around the cord, through the cup chain, and so on and so forth. So we're just looping around the cup chain in the meantime. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take this around the cord, then over the cup chain, and you want to catch the cup chain right between those first rhinestones. Now the first one is going to be the hardest, of course, as with anything. The first 1 or 2 is always the hardest. So then we're going to go back around the cord. Whoops. And then we're going to go through that same cup chain space again to lock it in place. So the first time it will be in the front of the cup chain, and the second time it'll be in the back of the cup chain. So let me get one done, and I'll show you what it looks like. So we have the back of the cup chain captured, and the front of the cup chain captured. So just like that. So I'll do another one and explain it to you. We're going to take the cord and go behind, or take the thread and go behind the cord, and then in front of the cup chain, behind the cord, and up and around. So this is our first little lock that we have here. Then we're going to go through the same cup chain, and we're going behind it this time, and then back up around the cord. So now we have 2 locks. And anytime the thread passes over the cup chain to lock it in, we have 1 lock in front and 1 lock behind. So we will change camera views and give you a closer look. Okay, so from a different angle that might be easier to see, what we're going to do is take the cord and go up around the leather here. We're going to go behind the cup chain. We're going to go then in front of the cord. We are going to go around the back of the cord, in front of the cup chain, behind the cord, and then move on to the next one. So we're going to go in front of the cord, behind the cup chain, in front of the cord. I'm going to bring it back around, go in front of the cup chain. Whoops, losing track here. We're going in front of the cup chain and then back around the cord. So that's what it looks like so far. We're going to proceed in the same way. Move on to the next space between the cup chains. We're going to go in front of the cord, behind the cup chain, in front of the cord, behind the cord, in front of the cup chain, behind the cord, and move on to the next one. So we'll carry on like this, and I'll show you what to do when we get done. Okay, so I've done my very last one. How I'm going to finish it off is I'm just going to do that same figure 8 motion that we started with. And this time we're going to cinch the leathers together. So we are going to, trying to stay in frame here. We're going to do that figure 8 motion just a couple of times and cinch it down pretty tight. And then what you can do, let me adjust here, then what you can do is wrap the cord around, trim yourself a good tail end to work with. Then you can finish with what's called a half hitch knot. So that's making a loop and then bringing the tail end through the loop. And try to keep it pretty tight while you're doing this. You can do an additional one if you want. So I've just made a loop and I'm bringing the tail end through the loop. Then what we're going to do is just tie an overhand knot on this end. And tighten, tighten, tighten. Trim the tail ends, apply glue, and we're done. So thanks for watching. If you liked this DIY December episode, make sure to like it on YouTube, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Like us on Facebook. We have a Pinterest and Instagram, all of that. And as always, thank you so much for watching.